5 or 6 top things to do in Phnom Penh. If you're here for a couple of days, these are good things to see because they're related to the history of the place, and it has a great history. We're on Street 19 at the moment on our way down to Wat Phnom. And that is the birthplace of Phnom Penh city. Founded in 1373. I'll tell you the story when we get there. But if you're interested in this content, then please subscribe to this channel by either clicking on the icon at the lower right hand corner of your screen, or hit the subscribe button, and you can hit the notification bell as well, and give the video a like if you like it. It's going to make it easier for me to keep producing content, street level content. Railway station down there. This is the old French quarter, the where the French colonial aristocrats lived. Set up shop in the 19th century. And here we are, Wat Phnom. 37 meters high, no, 27 meters high. This is the highest point in Phnom Penh, which is constructed on a huge floodplain at the intersection of 4 rivers. So let's go up and have a look at this. The hill of Phnom Penh. I'll explain that in a second. And there's vendors set up on outside of the hill of Phnom Penh, Wat Phnom. So what's the story of this place? This downtown, part of downtown there. The story of this place is that back in 1373, Phnom Penh found some Buddhist relics. Hello, good morning. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Thank you. Have a good day. And we're on our way up to the highest point in Phnom Penh. This is the serpent naga, an important symbol. Not sure how many steps there are up here, not too arduous. I'll follow the faithful. People come here to pray for good luck and all sorts of things. A student could come here to pray for good luck in an exam, or exams, for example. I forgot to tell you the story of Wat Phnom, which is important because this is the birthplace of Phnom Penh. And how did it happen to come about? Well, there was a woman who lived here called Madam Penn, and one day Madam Penn was walking down by the river, probably the Tonle Sap, because it's the closest river to this site, and she found some Buddhist relics, either floating in the river or washed up on the embankment. She took them as a auspicious sign and brought them here. And they were placed here in Wat Phnom. And so this was the beginning of Phnom Penh. Because it wasn't much of it was a pretty small place for a long time. It wasn't until the French made it the capital in the 19th century for their own purposes. They moved the royal palace down here. So that is indeed Chinese. I know there is a Confucian symbol here, which is unusual in Cambodia. Not so in Vietnam, but here. But what it indicates, it's not just the Confucian, but all sorts of local and animist, local deities and animist spirits have been incorporated into Cambodian Theravada. Oh, it smells beautiful. The aroma of the food and the flowers and the incense. So it's a tolerant and diverse. Look at all those Buddhas there. Religion or philosophy. able to incorporate many different beliefs. That is a sign of strength. That's the Theravada, which is the Cambodian Buddhism. Vietnamese Buddhism is Mahayana, which is more amenable to Confucianism because it is more hierarchical. It was the impetus of Cambodian Buddhism has been egalitarianism. It was designed to limit any excesses of power by the king or the ruler. Mahayana in Vietnam, which is amenable to Confucianism, is much more hierarchical, as of course is Confucianism and the Chinese system. One's not better than the other, just which is more appropriate to the place, the situation, the context. Very interesting. A very busy place, as befits Cambodia's status as the world's most Buddhist country, or to put it in crasser terms, the highest number of Buddhists per capita. And I would dare say that the philosophy of Buddhism has served them well as a people and a culture. But let's move onwards. Next we're going riverside to the riverfront. Probably the only thing in Phnom Penh that predates Wat Phnom. Now, although I'm catching a tuk-tuk, these attractions that I'm visiting today are all actually within walking distance of each other. So you could, if you're in Phnom Penh for a couple of days, you could spend half a day doing this. This is probably the longest stretch from Wat Phnom to Riverside. Many cafes. Over there is the other side of the Tonle Sap, an area under development, modernisation. To the North Shore. I'm not sure if it is to the north. The Hoboken of Phnom Penh. Here we are, Riverside. It's early on a Sunday morning. Passenger and tourism terminal, that's really where I want to go. You can catch a ferry. Any number of destinations. Nighttime dinner cruises on the river, probably with live music. There are islands. There's huge waterways out here, the intersection of the Tonle Sap, Mekong, with the apex of the Mekong River is here. So it splits into 3 branches. It's a huge amount of water, like a lake, and there are islands on it, so you can take a trip. Yeah, this is good. Phnom Penh night market, daytime. But yeah, we'll get out here, please. Thank you. So this is the passenger ferry terminal and ferries. You can see these floating restaurants and that. And there's islands, particularly Silk Island out there, good for day trips. So this is the riverfront or the riverside, attraction number 2, but that can lead you to other things. Now there is a ferry here that goes to Vietnam, although it's not running during the pandemic, but when it returns. But a note, a sinking boat, look at that. Now all along here there are plenty of hotels, backpackers, cafes, restaurants. So at any point on your walk, it's very quiet today. Normally you can expect to see lots of people walking along here, and way further down, we're not going to go that far. There are like little market areas set up on this boulevard. 100% pure milk. There you go. And up there you see where the Tonle Sap just past those boats there, the dredge meets the great Mekong River. And over here, I think there's a big hotel over there on the other side. You can see all this development going on down there. The monkey temple is over there. I haven't been there. Maybe another 10 minutes, maybe less. And there she is, Wat Ounalom. You can, this is included in some of my other videos also, but it's so not only spectacular but important in Cambodian Buddhism. This is probably the main Buddhist pagoda in Cambodia, one of the most influential, and it was founded in, better look on the screen, 1443. We walk along this road. The next block along is, we go up one block and it's get to the National Museum of Cambodia, which is where we're going after this, and then continue on one further block. Here you can see that spire there from the Royal Palace. And then on from there it's about another 10 to 15 minute walk to our final stop on this top 5 or 6 things to do in Phnom Penh. Phnom Penh, along the riverfront basically. It's free to get in here. I've never been able to get a decent shot of this Buddha that shows just how big it is. And I know there is a hall of paintings in here, but I'm not sure where they are. Frescoes, I imagine. There are some important Buddhist relics in here. I think an eyelash of the Buddha, or a hair from the eyelash of the Buddha, and a statue to one of the important members of Buddhist modernism who was here and was executed by the Pol Pot regime. This pagoda really took a bad battering from the Khmer Rouge in their attempt to eliminate Buddhism in Cambodia. Relics were destroyed, monks executed, but that's in the past now, and they've been rebuilding ever since. Now normally we could go out the back, just around here, but that's closed right now. I think it's something to do with the pandemic. And if one of these halls is one with all the paintings in it, they do not look open at the moment. But you can come here and explore for yourself. Work goes on, daily life goes on, the everyday life of a Buddhist pagoda. Here we go. An e-green. Ah, great exercise. There's always a nice breeze off the river too. And onward. If you've been following my videos, this next corner up here is on the left, UK Pharmacy, and on this side, Smile, 24-hour mini-mart. To let you know where we are. Here we are at the corner there. You see the Royal Palace there, or part of it. It's quite large. And UK Pharmacy, a good Western style pharmacy, the Bright Lotus pho and soup, excellent, and Smile 24-hour mini mart. Now these are dealt with in my video of Smile Mini Mart Phnom Penh, and there you see it, beautiful National Museum. Basically at the end of this sort of a park in here. No, thank you. So this is Street 178 we're walking along. I'm not sure what that street is, but you go down there, there's Wat Ounalom on the right. Big street market down there, huge. Very good. There's always tuk-tuks and cyclos around here. And this is the museum. They've been renovating the roof during the pandemic. Seems like a good idea while it was closed. It's got lovely grounds. It's a lovely place to come and sit. And there's a shop and an outdoor cafe down there. Not sure what's going on with the shop right now. They used to have a lot of excellent books in there. You know, plus like silk goods, scarves, bags, etc. So you can just sit down on one of these spots here and enjoy the day. Many treasures in this museum. Definitely worth it, and there's a beautiful courtyard in the middle, which is full of sculptures, in which you can just go and sit in peacefully and enjoy all the artworks. See, just looking through there you can see day life goes on. Yeah, that seems to be connected. Would we say that this is the sacred and the profane? Not quite. Humans and nature. And if we enjoy watching people working, or even workers taking their lunchtime siesta, we can come over here to the Museum Cafe. Lovely area. We'll find somewhere very nice to sit. Quiet, cool, in the shade. So let's see what's on offer. There's the little workers' rest area. They'll take a siesta for at least an hour. A little offering to Buddha. I'm almost directly across the road from the Hyatt Regency, so if you're in Phnom Penh for a couple of days and you're staying in the Hyatt Regency, but you want to get out, come across here to the museum. It's worth exploring and try some Cambodian style, because they've got a lot of it. You have to ask yourself, what would Starbucks or McDonald's have to offer in comparison to this? Nothing at all. Highly developed cafe culture. I'm going to get a steak beef baguette, or I could get a chicken steak. Hard to tell. Very pricey by local standards at $6, but we'll see if it's worth it. Although a McDonald's will probably come in around about $9. Hello, can I get a steak?
Steak.
Baguette?
Steak baguette. Yeah.
And a latte?
Ice latte.
Hot latte.
Hot latte. Big sugar or big size?
Pardon?
Big sugar or big size?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Can you have small or big?
Oh, medium.
Medium.
Yeah. Okay, now sit out here.
Yeah, yeah.
And how much is that? How much will that cost?
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so we find a spot. Here we'll go. Look at the extent of that renovation. Complete retiling of the roof. Not there. Not here. Here we've got a nice quiet spot. We could sit here at a round table. I like a square table. What does it say here? If it's a prohibition, it's fine because I can't read it. Anyway, it might be upside down. As you know, this is the National Museum of Cambodia here, and right over there, oh look, just in time. Right over there, through the trees, is the Royal University of Fine Arts, where you can study all sorts of fine arts, Cambodian music, Western music, and dance. In fact, the Royal Ballet, I think their school is located in there. So there's many, many possible disciplines. Beautiful grounds. Looks like a nice college. And one where you can learn Khmer traditions. Yeah, my latte to go with my carne asada. Thank you. Merci. I can say thank you, gracias, in many languages, but not in Khmer, so I'm going to have to do something about that, aren't I? Hello, I love you. Thank you.
Yes.
Baguette, carne asada. So we're going to see how this is. This is $6 US. Less than half a baguette. But what is the flavour like? And that is a real piece of steak, cooked medium rare. Closer to medium than rare. Because I'm now so used to the smaller serving sizes and eating less in Cambodia, found that all much to eat it in one sitting, so I'm going to ask for a doggy bag, take that home, and that can comprise a later meal today for me. So yes, a doggy bag is possible. I see these guys over here, they're eating a Cambodian meal, looks like Lok Lak. Lok Lak. This is a glorious spot, so lovely. There's a lovely cool breeze blowing through the trees, birds chirping, the distant sound of workers working. And on the back of Wat Ounalom opens out onto this one, and then there's a big street market down there. We're off this way. On foot. I know he wants to give me a ride by virtue of the money I have in my pocket, but I'm going to be like a monk. I'm going to walk. Okay, let's have a look. So there's the National Museum, that close, and there's the Royal Palace. And I think this is the United Nations building in Phnom Penh, National Scientific and Cultural Organization of the United Nations, UNESCO. Okay. Naturally, they're treating themselves well in the process of helping Cambodia. This is the Royal Palace, very, very big. There's the riverside there. Always vendors around. It's nice walking along the riverfront along there. There's just a little bit further along, there's some sort of justice place like the High Court or something like that, I forget now, and just beyond that is the Buddhist University. And that high rise over there is on the other side of the river. And all your essentials are available right here on the street. So you can see extensive redevelopment going on as they're making the most of the pandemic. And out there's a little pavilion, and you can walk downstairs right down to the river. It's a steep embankment. It's quite high, but also very nice. And this is where the king lives. And it's open to the public, and it's a great place to tour. Unfortunately, it is not open during the pandemic. But I had been there about a year ago, so I'll insert some footage and stills from that. It wasn't the greatest footage I got. Certainly it was much better in there than I was able to capture on video. But beautiful, expansive grounds, peaceful and relaxing place, and then there's temples in there, pagodas, silver pagoda, very, very famous, with full of amazing Buddhist art treasures. This is what Cambodians like to do. They like to walk, and they like to sit around in family groups also, often eating food. Not quite a family group. Some young woman enjoying the day out. They have their little mats. There you go. Chilling outside the Royal Palace. There's one other thing to tell you about the Royal Palace before I show you the footage and the photos. Good morning.
Good morning.
That I took when I wasn't there. Because I'm staying right behind the Royal Palace. I would say this is a quiet day. You can imagine this would be packed on a full day. It's what Cambodians like to do. Hang out on their mats in groups. Hello! And eat food. You really can't even see from here. It's just the grandeur of this palace. A graduate. Have you graduated from school? You have. Congratulations. Have a good day. Just the sweetest people. It's amazing, you know, I think the Cambodians, the way the French and the Americans really fail to appreciate them and brutalize them. And yet they still retain their good spirit, their lovely outlook. Hello.
Nice to meet you.
This is not the Royal Palace. This is a pagoda adjoining it. It really is a heavenly city, Phnom Penh. It is full of these glorious pagodas. And there are times that you think that you're actually walking in heaven. Okay, now what I wanted to show you, the Buddhist University is just down there at the end of the block on the riverfront. It's where you get in, and I seem to have gone past it. Costs a couple of dollars, maybe up to $5, depending. But it's open a lot of hours. The Royal Palace, I think it's for something like, don't quote me on this, just a rough idea, you can find out probably online. Maybe from 8 a.m. till 11 a.m. and then from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. because they need to have their siesta. And now we head to our final destination. We walk up here, this boulevard, 400 or so meters, and turn right onto another boulevard. There's that pagoda. As you can see, Royal Palace in the background there. And there's seating in this park, so even if it gets hot, if you've got a bottle of water, which I do not have with me today, you can sit down and just enjoy. It's like a kid's playground over there. And as we walk up to our final destination, we pass another beautiful pagoda, also very large, on very large grounds. And here, a Buddha in front of the famous tree, whose name I can't pronounce. It's pretty important. And I believe there's some sort of a relic to the Buddha here. This is Wat Ounalom, the history of planting the sacred Bodhi tree in front of Wat Ounalom. They were received from Sri Lanka. Okay, I'm not sure of the dates there, they're a little bit confusing. It's a nice, lovely grounds to walk in there. Some fabulous statues. Peacefulness. There's a new urban development back there. High rises, probably apartments, I'm not sure. Never quite figured out the layout of Phnom Penh yet. This is not the centre of the city ahead. There is a city centre, but there's all these outcrops. You go to them, they're very busy little areas. You feel like you're in a city anywhere. There's shops over there, probably cafes, restaurants if you want to stop off on your walk, your glorious walk. This is where we've just come from. Royal Palace down there. The riverside or riverfront is just up there. And we're coming up on our final stop on this very healthy walk. Hasn't taken all that long. And another important site. 2, 3 actually, but we're just going to call it 1. And if you are new here in Cambodia or in Phnom Penh and you want to walk about, I suggest you do it before 11 in the morning and probably after 3 in the afternoon. It can get brutally hot here in the hot season, which runs from about April to late September. So you really want to retire back to air-conditioned comfort and have a siesta in the middle of the day. Now often you can come down here for sunrise or for sunset. It's lovely, and often there'll be lots of Cambodians out here walking around. I was hopeful it would be like that today, but unfortunately not. But it does show you that you can find, even in this busy city, you can find relative solitude, peaceful places. So what are we doing? We're coming to the Independence Monument to mark Cambodia's independence from France in 1953. I think this monument was erected in 1954. And in front of it is a statue to Prince Norodom Sihanouk, who was responsible for negotiating that independence, achieving independence, and then maintaining Cambodia's neutrality in the Vietnam War. A neutrality which unfortunately was not respected by the Americans, and so they proceeded to bomb the hell out of the place, cause widespread death and destruction. Yeah. But the rebuilding after the outrages of the Khmer Rouge. Here we have a Buddhist monk with a camera. There must be a camping thing. This guy looks like a graduate. Are you a graduate?
Yeah.
What did you study?
International relations.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Are you going to be a diplomat?
Of course.
Cambodian Foreign Service.
Maybe create some policy maker or something.
Can you have him take one photo? You might have professional.
I'm not a professional.
So, where are you from?
New Zealand. So he's graduated in international relations. And another one. And here we are, the statue of Prince Norodom. A hallowed figure. Did a lot of good things. Sort of acted pretty childishly at times too. But what the hell, you can do that if you're a king. The Indonesian embassy, I think that it's there. Republic of Indonesia. There you go, Byron Allen Black, they're looking out for you. There's the pagoda over there, see the Independence Monument, and just to the left of it is another lovely little pagoda which also has a Buddhist school in it. So when I say you're coming down here to the attraction of the Independence Monument, you've also got... Hello, how are you? You're not graduating today?
Hi.
You're not graduating? There's people graduating.
Oh.
You don't understand. Okay.
Yes.
Have a good day.
How are you?
See, sweet people. Hello, mother.
Hello.
Are you a baby?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, you didn't steal it, did you? Okay. Can you walk on the grass? I don't know. Get off the grass, man. We are closer to the Independence Monument, and you can see that pagoda. Actually, there's a whole lot of pagodas back down there further. You go down there, and they're quite important ones too. Here we are, having a few operator malfunction problems. Is it the heat? Is it my advanced years? Is it the stresses of living in the 21st century? Okay, here we go. We're on the roundabout. Do not be deceived, usually this is very, very busy. So something's happening today, but I'm not invited. For graduation, picnics, and that's Prince Norodom Boulevard. So independence achieved from France peacefully. Unlike the poor Vietnamese who had to go for 30 years of war against France and then the United States. And there's that lovely little pagoda. Let's go over there, shall we? And that's how we'd end our tour. So you can see the city. See, it stretches all around here. Now I'm not even in downtown. I would be at least 3 kilometers from downtown here. So it's a dispersed, the city centre is dispersed, or there are several of them. Well, not several, there might be one city centre, but there's many different. They've been in this area over here and it was really good. It's just like being in a big city anywhere, actually. Here it is. I'm not sure if we can get in. We'll give it a try. It's a lovely little pagoda. I had come in here once before and I went around down there. These are little tombs down here, I believe. And unfortunately, I stumbled across a gathering. I think these may be tombs. Walked in with my camera on, filming madly, and I had stumbled upon a funeral. I stopped filming. People were cool though, they didn't take offence. That incense smells beautiful. Plenty of places for peaceful reflection. I hope you've enjoyed this video and thank you so much for watching. And if you have enjoyed it, then please subscribe to this channel. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. So adieu from a quiet Sunday morning in the great city of Phnom Penh, Cambodia.